Welcome back to Red Moon Roleplaying. This month's episodes are brought to you by the kind support of our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Hoischobert and David. Thank you so much. If you want to be one of our champions, check us out on Patreon, where you can find our Q&A show, no less than 3 bonus campaigns, raw early access recordings, as well as opportunities to play with us. Now then, on to Descent into Avernus.
This was not the help I was expecting, but I am grateful for it nonetheless. Getting back into the villa and retrieving both the box and the shield by myself was going to be a very difficult task. I'm used to working on my own, but there are times when the guild has their uses. Now this lot aren't guild, but in a way that makes me feel better, even if they are a strange bunch. A Hell Rider, a man of Gond, a tiefling rogue, and a boxer. I do, though, think I can trust their intentions. For now, at least. It's hard to believe that soon I'll finally have the proof I need to prove that the High Overseer has been hiding a great secret all these years. I can only hope to retrieve the item safely and return to my master. I can only hope that our theories are correct, and that Aturiel can still be saved. This is Red Moon Roleplaying. These tunnels are different to the ones you encountered before, with the Cult of the Dead free. Their tunnels were haphazard, hewn, constructed, but not maintained. These tunnels are very well maintained. You already look at the walls and see the stonework has been polished and has had great care taken. The torches are well lit. You can hear in the distance now the sound of murmuring, voices intoning things slowly, repetitively. You also catch the scent of incense on the air, sweet-smelling incense, probably there to mask the ever so slight smell of sewer. You are still in a sewer, and you can see, in very well-maintained gutters, sewage trickling along. But this place has definitely had a lot more care taken to it than the other place. What do you all do?
I'm going to look at Rhea. Hellrider, are you going to be able to keep it together here? You seem pretty worked up when we're talking about your High Seer.
She gives you a bit of a frown. I can assure you that while I may wish for a little discourse with the High Overseer, if we encounter enemies, I am more than happy to slay them. I don't need to be told that devil worshippers are bad people.
My worry isn't you slaying devil worshippers. My worry is you running into hundreds of devil worshippers to slay them when we're not ready.
She nods. I will have prudence, don't worry. I will go with what all of you wish to do. I can hold my own, but I understand working in a unit as well, don't worry.
I nod together then.
The tunnel you're in is actually quite thin. Fisk tells you he's pretty sure this is not the main way of coming down here. Possibly an exit of some kind. That would make sense to you, Lofar, an exit that leads to the stables if someone wanted to make a quick escape. Go up that entranceway, get your horses, out you go. You come to a dead end, where there seem to be some very faint lines in the walls to the left and right. Fisk goes to the right and says, "You see, these are secret doors," and he pushes the right one. He motions to the left, whispering, "I don't believe we wish to go that way." Larissa, you can hear some of this humming and chanting has become a lot louder in that direction. What does everyone do?
Do I recognise this? If she'll move as close to the direction that's coming from as she can without endangering everybody, and just close her eyes and really listen. And she's looking to see if she recognises the language as infernal.
You do. And oddly enough, Royce, you do as well. This is something you haven't discussed, but in regard to the offer you were made, you certainly, of course, had to learn a little first, and maybe you tell me, why did you grasp a bit of infernal tongue in your life?
In the past, I've had people approach me in Infernal, and we had discussions. I was open to hear offers, and we had code words and little phrases to say to ensure we were safe to speak to each other. And just from words in those phrases, I picked up the language. I can't tell what they're saying, but I know what they're speaking, and it's Infernal.
Indeed. It's maybe not totally 100% recognizable to you, Royce, but you definitely catch a word or two. And Larissa, you understand it clear as day. Long live Zariel. Long may she reign in hell. Long may she fight the fight. Long may the demons be held at bay by her willful sacrifice. Long may those who give her power have power. Long may she reign. Long may she triumph. Zariel, Zariel. This is repeated several times, several different ways, but that is what you're hearing. To the left.
Larissa grew up in a cult. Her parents were cultists who were human and were very pleased and saw it as a blessing that they gave birth to a tiefling child. Does she recognise who Zariel is?
Roll me a history check.
12.
Zariel. Zariel. You think you have heard it before, but isn't that to do with Aturiel? You kind of are trying to remember something about Aturiel, Holy City. Well, wasn't there once a seraph? Wasn't that how Aturiel was founded? That's where you think you recognize Zariel from. But again, it's a bit hard to recall. And maybe confusing because, again, that was a seraph's name, wasn't it?
So Larissa will, everyone will notice that she's whispering to herself very quietly in Infernal, repeating the name in the Infernal tongue until she finally finds the common tongue for it. And she'll turn to Lothar and say, "Do you recognise the name Zariel? That's who they're chanting to. It's been a long time, but I feel like it's got some connection with Aturiel."
Zariel. Is that someone I have heard of?
Roll a history check with advantage.
She'll also say this to Rhea as well, because if it's to do with that, Rhea might also have heard it, especially if it's someone connected with Aturiel.
11.
Again, you kind of think the exact same thing. You've heard the name linked to a seraph and Aturiel, but you can't remember the story. You know there's a story, but you can't quite remember it. But then you do notice, both of you, Rhea, go, well, of course. She was maybe not the time to tell it now, but Zariel, the seraph, the one who led the Hell Riders of Aturiel into hell. Before, she frowns, before being defeated and never being seen again.
I think perhaps her defeat did not end in death, but perhaps in some kind of deal. We should move. If they're chanting, they're going to be in ritual, at least for a little bit. It might give us some time.
Indeed, this may be a good opportunity for us to explore the rest of the villa.
Fisk nods, confirming Rhea's story, by the way, and leads you to the right door, which again, when he pushes it fully, leads out to a larger hallway, perhaps part of the complex proper. It goes, as you enter it, in two directions, south and north. Granted, down here, south, north, east, west, it's all getting a bit confusing, but basically, forwards and backwards. He points forwards down the tunnel, saying, I believe the vault is this way. As he leads the way, though, you do see a small chamber to the right, with lit torches and cupboards. And on those cupboards, there are hangers. And maybe you notice it, Royce. You just glance to the right. Can you see clothing? What do you do?
I'm just gonna... If you guys want to go ahead, I'm gonna check check this out and make sure there's nobody watching us, none of these imps or anything around. I mean, if we're heading to a vault, there's surely some kind of security. I'll follow on shortly, and I'm going to walk into the room, assuming there's no objections. Looking to see if I can find any information on Tobin, if he's part of this ritual, if I see some personal clothing of his I recognise, or some trinkets he might have worn.
Well, you enter this vestry, and you see it's filled with wooden wardrobes, some of which are open. Inside these wardrobes are long black robes and masks, golden masks, showing devil faces. It seems to be, you're thinking, like a changing room or something, maybe? You see a couple of doors leading off. You're not entirely sure you want to keep going, but you kind of put in your mind a sort of image that, is this like a dormitory or something? That's what your gut tells you.
I'll pocket one of the masks and just put it into my knapsack. It may come in handy later.
You do notice that Fisk stops, comes to join you, and goes, wait. Any of you skilled in the art of disguise? Could be useful, could not be. We may not have time. I don't know. What do you think? Could we use these? He sees you taking the mask.
I've had to disguise and talk myself out of some less reputable bars in my time.
Yes, I think that would be a good idea, actually. In case someone sees us, well, this would make them question why we're here a lot less. So I moved to grab as well the equipment that's available there, so that I can hopefully disguise myself as, one of these cultists.
Fisk nods and seems on board with the plan. Now you are as well. Rhea looks a little oddly at one of the masks, but very well if you think this will work. Larissa, do roll me a perception check.
14?
You pick up a mask, and for a moment you're looking at it quite carefully, but then the others are getting changed, and you kind of think, let's just put the mask on.
Larissa is dubious about putting this on, because she's aware that the other people in this group can blend in quite easily behind this mask, but she has horns and a tail, and she's covered in infernal script.
Well, you do also notice that the robes would easily fit everyone, and they are hooded robes as well.
I feel like Larissa would probably instead use a disguise self spell, because she'll want the mobility that the robes may not necessarily give her over her armour. And this way she can actually make herself look more human in form. So she'll take a look at, once everyone's kind of ready, she'll kind of take a look, note how everything seems to look, and then will cast Disguise Self to make herself appear human in these robes, but then will physically put one of the masks over on top. So that way she blends in, she doesn't have the horns causing a bulge under the hood, because the spell kind of disguises all of that.
5 minutes pass, and all of you equip yourselves in your disguises. You are now all cloaked individuals wearing these golden devil masks, except, of course, Larissa. You cast your spell. You magically, at least, appear a cloaked individual. But again, you do put on a real mask. Fisk gives you a nod, and then leads you out again. He kind of remarks, perhaps we should continue, though. If this is a dormitory, we don't want to awaken anyone if there's someone else. He's pointing at these other hallways that lead off, and he wants to lead you back to that main hallway. What do you do?
I vote that we continue. We can always come back and investigate these dormitories later.
Yes.
And you do so, continuing down this long tunnel, the chanting, the incense. It would almost be kind of pleasant if it wasn't so sinister. You eventually come to a fork where the water is being diverted to grates and other places. And this tunnel goes now to a tunnel that goes left and right for quite some time. Immediately to the right, you notice a pair of double doors leading to a chamber in the south. And an individual, cloaked, wearing a golden mask. As you enter the tunnel, sort of seeing each other, this individual looks at you and sort of stands to attention. What do you do?
I'm going to, as we're walking by, just kind of bow my head kind of in a reverent pose, not really saying anything, kind of grunt, acknowledging their presence more so.
Just as you do, you see Fisk kind of gesturing with his hand, implying that door is the vault. And you see him reach into his robes, and you know he's carrying a crossbow. But he's waiting and sort of watching as you move forwards. This individual by the doors stands to duty and looks at you and gives you a little nod. What do you do, Royce?
We're here to pick up artifacts for the ritual.
The figure tilts its head and remarks in a young man's voice, "You are? Oh, no one told me that. Forgive me, brother. I'm so sorry. I'm still learning the names. Brother."
We don't use names during the rituals.
Oh, I see. And then the man sneezes. As he sneezes, he takes a moment to just fiddle and remove the mask for a few seconds. And standing before you, it's Tobin. Clear as day. He is adjusting the stupid little cult mask, clearing his nose, and then quickly putting the mask back on. Yes, of course, no names. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. You need to go into the vault, then. Oh, okay, let me, I'll go get the key for you, brother. And he starts fiddling to get a key. What do you do?
You haven't learnt the names because you don't really believe in this cult, isn't that right, brother? And I'm doing it in a kind of an intimidating way to... I can see he's on edge, and I want to see... He seems to be saying more than he should be, and I want to kind of keep him in that panicked state.
Oh, no, brother, no, I apologize. I know the masks show the differences, and he gestures to his own, a little spike on one end that you notice your mask doesn't have. It's just there are so many, and I'm sorry, I will do better.
How long are you here now? A week? Less?
Yes, I've been here about a week or so now.
Why? What is your reason for joining?
Well, to serve Zariel, of course.
What's your real reason? No one... You see people who really believe, and you don't seem to be someone who really believes. What are you looking to gain from this, brother?
You see him kind of crack his knuckle a little and say, "No, I understand what you mean. I will be truthful. Power, of course. The power to defeat my foes, to have glory, to have triumph. I know Zariel values all these things, and so that is why I am willing to serve the Van Vampa family, at least for now, until I am deemed worthy of more stages. I'm sorry I wasn't being truthful, brother. I know I need to be truthful."
But you don't need Zariel or this cult for the power you look for. I know you, and I know that you have plenty of power as it is. I'm going to kind of lift the mask slightly to reveal who I am.
And there's a pause. At this moment in time, by the way, Fisk is looking a little confused. He's still got his hand on that crossbow. And Larissa, Lofar, what are you thinking as suddenly Royce is talking to this individual? Perhaps he knows them.
He seems to have something on his mind, something that he intends to do here. I'll be there to back him up if he goes for it, so I'll just wait and see.
Larissa is waiting with her hand on her short sword, kind of under the cloak that she has. But as soon as Royce lifts his mask, I think she probably... it twigs to her who this is and why Royce is talking to him.
Tobin removes his mask. He looks really confused and slightly alarmed. "Coach, what are you doing here?"
What are you doing here? I had warned you about the dangers of your greed, of wanting too much too quickly. All those years and you didn't listen to anything I said.
I listened very well, Coach. You regretted it. You hesitated. Well, I haven't. I've come here to get the power you said you were offered, and I have it, and I didn't Listen, it's fine. I didn't have to sell my soul. I didn't do that. I'm just serving. You still get power even if you just serve. I'm already stronger than I was before.
I push my hand into his chest and push him back against the wall. It wasn't about... I did regret not winning everything. That was my regret. Not taking the deal wasn't my regret. You were better than me. You were more powerful than me. You were meant to be better than me.
He kind of winces as you push back and kind of steps forward. Wait, why are you here? Who knows you're here? He starts looking a little concerned. Royce, you need to leave soon. I'll say I haven't seen you. Just you need to get out of here.
You're not better than you were. Not in your own. It's not the same. I'm gonna grab the keys off him. You've two options. You can go down the path you're going, or you can come back with us and redeem yourself and show your true worth.
You snatch the keys off him because he wasn't expecting you to do it, so you have quite good dexterity. They're in your hands. He sort of swears a little. No, I'm earning this. Look, all I need to do is serve a little, and then I can get another job, and then I get to keep the power. I paid attention when I signed the thing.
Signed the thing? What did you sign?
I signed some. Master Firstwell. He handles the paperwork. It's just like a document you signed, for service.
You fool! You've already. I push him against the wall again. You may have already sold your soul, and like there's a fury building in me now. It's almost like I'm going to hit him, but I'm going to punch the wall beside him. I believed in you once. That may have been a mistake.
It wasn't a mistake. I'm going to be better than you. Besides, I haven't sold my soul. You're not listening. I swore fealty to the Van Vampa family and Lord Zariel. For now. I'm not going to, stick around forever. And once they're done whatever they're doing, here in Baldur's Gate, which is, a horrible place anyway, like... Look, just... He looks to then everyone else. What even are you... What are you doing here? What are you doing?
Listen, boy. You should heed his words. Cults are not fun things to play with. I should know. I was raised in one, and it nearly killed me. You've signed a piece of paper swearing fealty. That is as good as selling your soul. They will draw you in, and when you want to leave, they won't let you. Not when they've invested in you, not when they have spent years brainwashing you. Power always comes at a price. If you leave now, you can train for that power just as Royce taught you. And that power comes at no price other than your own hard work. If you stay, that power will come at the cost of innocent lives, your soul, your psyche. Do you know how many people have been murdered in Baldur's Gate? Through the cult of the Dead Three?
He seems a little hesitant and says quietly, we're not them.
Yes, you are.
No, Zariel doesn't kill for no reason. Zariel teaches self-worth and power and achieving your goals by any means necessary.
Boy, all demons teach that.
She's not a demon. She's a devil.
All devils teach that too. They all teach that, but innocent people still die. Children still die. Families. Innocent people get killed by these cults one way or another. Believe me, I've seen it. And he wants the best for you. He's been looking for you since I met him.
He looks to you, Royce. Does seem a little uncertain, confused. And you know that. He's always been a little uncertain and confused. Perhaps that's always been the issue.
Look, Tobin, I took you in, trained you up when you're having problems at home. I understand you've had a tough life. And it does get easier as you get older. I had a similar story. This doesn't get easier. This is the start of it. People grabbing power at any cost. Looking out for yourself. These are the people you are aligned with. Why won't they burden you, your career, if it means more power for them? You're saying it yourself. You're just going to be a pawn thrown aside when no longer needed in their plan.
He kind of nods. He steps aside. You notice Rhea step forward as well and offer him a smile. They're telling you the truth. I think he cares for you deeply, Royce. Join us. Help us. We are doing good work here, and together we can overcome whatever is happening here. And you can help. You want to do that, right? And she smiles, and Tobin kind of looks at her. Kind of looks a bit bashful all of a sudden. I suppose. I'm sorry, Royce. What are you doing? What do you need me to do? What do we do?
Come with us. Help us stop this, or at least slow this. And we can leave together and get back on our plan. The grind we had, the vision we had for you to be one of the best, that's not over.
He looks at you and sort of looks down at his feet and then looks up again. You came all this way for me. I didn't think you would, if I'm honest.
Boy, I didn't want you to make a mistake that I had a part in playing. I was trying to warn you about this, not inform you. I wouldn't have forgiven myself.
Royce, would you like me to show him what happens when you stay in a cult?
Royce looks a little confused at Larissa, but nods sheepishly.
She will drop her disguised self and lift up the mask, and she pulls up her sleeves to show all of the infernal ritual tattoos that she was tattooed with when she was younger, and just offers her arms out to Tobin. This is what happens. I didn't even want to join. I was born into it, and now I am marked by it forever. And at no point was it my choice to stay.
Tobin nods. He looks at your arms. He looks at your appearance. It's a little suddenly alarming to him, and he goes, okay, all right, fine, you're right, I don't need them. Yeah, you're right, okay, but whatever you're doing, we need to be quick, okay? There could be a group coming any moment now. The ritual will probably be progressing soon. All right, let's go then. Lofar, next to you, you see Fisk kind of look a little confused. Lower the crossbow and whisper to you. So we're not shooting him then?
No, we're not. We're not. But let's keep an eye on him, I say, and I nod.
Fisk nods and goes, all right then. Young Tobin, is it? If you don't mind, we'd like to enter the vault. You have a key? Royce has the key now, I see.
I'm going to start to fiddle with the key and lock and try and open it and go, Tobin, what can you tell us about the ritual? What are they doing?
Just honouring Zariel. They happen every night. It's part of the process of, showing her your value and the rewards she gives you.
You mentioned somebody kept paperwork, documents. Do you know where they're kept?
Oh, well, they'd probably be all the way upstairs. Somewhere, I don't know, sorry.
What was the name of the man that kept them?
Lord Firstwell. Lord Firstwell Van Thumper. You know, Mortlock is Lord Mortlock and Lord Amric as well.
We've met Mortlock, yes. Firstwell, that was the other brother Mortlock was talking about.
Mm-hmm. That it was.
Meanwhile, you begin fiddling with the key, Royce, and it opens the doors. And the two double doors open to a large room. This room contains 4 wooden tables, each with 2 small wooden coffers atop each one. In the centre of the room, hanging on the wall, is a beautiful golden shield. And standing in front of it is an individual. This individual appears to be an old man, balding, wearing priest robes, grey in colour. He also seems to have at his side a mace, although it looks mostly ceremonial. His attention is at first on the shield itself, but he does turn slowly to regard you all with a mixture of curiosity and surprise. Strangely, you all notice his shadow flickering in the light doesn't quite seem to match his dimensions. It It almost looks bigger than him, and more angular in shape. What do you do?
I shall use my divine sense to just confirm my suspicions based on this shadow. What is it really that is standing here before us?
You ignite your divine sense and look forwards. You see before you a mortal, and behind him a great infernal evil, but also a great celestial presence. The shield. It is both things, as you focus on it intently with your divine sense.
It is contained within the shield, then. Yes, it is the celestial presence that is keeping this archdevil within it, that is matching with the story that I've heard, yes?
Yes, but it's really hard to tell, Lofar. Yes, the celestial is holding the infernal. Or wait, no, is the infernal holding the celestial? The powers seem to intermingle and swirl. It's hard to tell, but you've heard the story. This must be the shield of the Hidden Lord, and next to it, a man. A man. He is a man.
I look to Rhea to see if she recognizes this man.
She moves forward quickly and removes the mask. High Overseer, we found you! Forgive me, Rhea Mantlemorn, at your service, my lord. And she gets to her knee and offers her sword to the man. Although she does this in a respectful way, you don't feel suddenly she's doing anything untoward. She does look at everyone and kind of say, High Overseer, I apologize, but you're going to need to explain a few things very quickly to my friends here, but we are going to hear you out, aren't we?
I nod, yeah. The High Overseer, you say, in the vault.
As you see this woman go over to this elderly man, clearly balding, but quite tall, he looks surprised. He reaches out his hand as she kneels to touch her head, and he says, Young Hell Rider, I remember you. What was it? 5 years ago you were 13, and so eager to join. I don't remember your name, though. Please forgive me.
That's fine, High Overseer. The honor is mine, but please, you must answer some questions. She stands. Larissa, you notice Fisk moving forward. And again, the hand just resting behind his robe on that crossbow. Indeed, Lord Overseer. You are certainly going to have to answer some questions. And you see Fisk's head moving around Larissa, and as you follow it, you can't help but notice all these wonderful coffers full of gold, treasures, and on one table, a very interesting golden box covered in infernal runes, and even from here you can feel a slight radiation of the infernal.
Larissa's going to step up along with Visk, and she's going to, while people are answering questions and his attention is drawn, she's just going to start kind of slowly wandering the room and just looking at objects, casually kind of picking them up and putting them down. And she's going to ignore the box for now. She's going to pass it as if it's any other trinket, but she slowly wants to make her way to that shield on the wall. But she's noted the box, but she doesn't want to draw any attention to it just yet.
You notice my gaze flicker a little bit nervously as you are doing this, and this person comes up, and I help Rhea, or I gesture for her to stand up again, and I say, questions? Are you not here to rescue me, then?
Oh, we certainly are, High Overseer. What do you say? We can get him out of here now, right? We found him, and maybe the other items as well?
Well, he does have a lot of explaining to do, that much is sure, and we had better take him out of here. Our time here is not unlimited after all, and, well, it would be good to find out what's happened to Eturiel, and I think that he's probably the only one who knows that. So yes, let us bring the man and the shield and get out of here, while the getting's good.
Guys, I can't be the only one here thinking there's, High Overseer guarded by cultists, room full of crazy devil trinkets. That this, like, let's not rush into anything here. Tobin, what do you know of this man? What has he been involved in? What has he done here?
You notice Fisk coming over and nodding, going, I agree with Royce. But he takes his crossbow out and points it at the Overseer. Yes, young boy. What do you know of the High Overseer's involvement here? Tobin looks nervous and looks to you, Favius Krieg, and looks around. The High Overseer is a guest of Duke Falmara, I think. Aren't you, High Overseer?
That's what she would like to call it, of course. Yes, I am a guest, held here against my own will. As soon as I entered the city, they found me and brought me here.
Why did you enter the city there, buddy? I mean, seems awful convenient. You left Ethereal just, moments before it essentially blew up. Why come to Baldur's Gate? And why come with no guard or envoy or without much regaling? You guys tend to be a bit ostentatious over in Ethereal.
Having held my hands slightly up, as in trying not to rouse any more violence from your side, I let them wander to my eyes, and I start sobbing. Yes, my poor El Terrell, my poor fair city. I could do nothing to stop what happened there, and I had to join, of course, the myriads of refugees making their way towards Baldur's Gate. It was such a sad moment not to be able to be there when whatever happened, happened.
While this is happening, Larissa wants to approach that shield and place her hand on it. And listening to what's going on, she wants to cast Identify as this is happening, just as if she's running her fingers over it, just generally interested.
You reach forth and cast your spell of identification. You are immediately met with realization. This is a mighty artifact containing within it the soul of great evil, with celestial powers intermingled within. It is a shield, and it may have some powers, you think, and you just hear then a voice in your head say, Yes, Tiefling, that's right. Give me to the Paladin. I will be of no use to you, but the Paladin, he can use a shield. I think. Yes, quickly, come on, get me off the wall. As you attempt to discern the shield, first of all, there is something in it that is obvious to you. But you also believe that the presence within, could it be used to cast some spells? Perhaps spells of fire. You think you can detect those, yes. Certainly it has some charges, and it probably regenerates those charges daily, as is common with many magical items. You also think it has a certain aura about it that you could activate. It already has the aura. An aura of infernal, an aura of malice, of hatred. But yes, these things could be used. If you attuned to it, you could control those powers.
Interesting. She will take it off of the wall as she's talking if the High Overseer doesn't stop her.
As I stand here and starting to answer the questions, my head quickly jolts to the side, looking at you. What are you doing?
I just wanted to have a look. It's not very often you get to see legendary objects.
That is indeed a legendary object. The Duke comes down to see it often. You should be careful handling something like that.
I'm sure I will be fine, as she kind of hooks it off the wall. Please do continue. Your story is very compelling.
As this is happening, you hear the voice again. Well, You don't seem the sort who wants a shield. But very well then. Attune me. This is vital. Trust me.
She doesn't know if this voice can hear her back, but she's now almost sure that what she was hearing before was the creature that emanates its power from here. And she just kind of laughs in her own mind and thinks, not a chance in hell.
Suit yourself, but I assure you when you walk out of here with that shield visible, those who claimed ownership of me will want it back. If you attune me, I can make myself look insignificant, and you will be able to leave this city. You do want to save the city, don't you?
She doesn't answer it in her own head. She's slightly torn because she knows she needs to. We have to all get this out of here, and perhaps it could be worth it, but she's not sure, and she's not going to take that decision on her own either. But she'll wander back towards the puzzle box, doing the same thing, just picking objects up as if she's only half interested in them as she listens to the story that's going on.
The voice goes silent for a moment. It sends some irritation. Lofar, you then hear a voice in your head. The tiefling, it's not that she can't handle the object, but she has infernal taint to her. It's dangerous. You should look after the shield. You are a paladin of Gond, are you not?
That I am.
Good. You know the importance of safekeeping important treasures. Ask her for the shield and take it for yourself. Again, I'm not implying violence here. It needs to be attuned. If I am attuned to you, paladin, I will be able to look indiscreet, and you'll be able to leave here, and none who will want me will know that you have me. Then we can discuss how you can safekeep me. I am known as the Hidden Lord. I contain within me the shield, the pit fiend Gargoaf. He is the reason for the evil in Baldur's Gate.
Well, we must put a stop to that. I speak up to Larissa. I'm sure it has spoken to you as well, yes?
Yes, it appears to have that ability.
It suggests that I attune myself to it and I carry it out of here.
It did the same to me.
Well, it does contain something very, very dangerous, and we should get it away from the Van Thampers, that much is clear. Whatever it's doing here can't be good. Although, attuning oneself to it and connecting oneself to it does carry some risk. I suppose we could just try to bring it out. Does it look very, would it be difficult to hide, or it would be very obvious?
Extremely. It is a beautiful, wondrous shield, emblazoned with holy symbols, and perhaps infernal symbols. It's a trick of the eye, you think. It's definitely mostly celestial, yes. It is golden, it is resplendent, and everyone can feel this aura emanating from it. Favius, they're all looking at that shield very intently.
As I see that, and I hear them talking about it, that it's obviously communicating with them, I look on with some interest. I am curious as to what they are doing, but I don't want to intervene too much if they are truly here to rescue me. But as soon as I see the tiefling walk a little bit closer to the box, I suddenly lose myself and say, "Get your hands off that!" And I rush over and I take it, put it inside my coat.
If she sees him trying to rush over to take it, she will make a grab for it.
Could you both roll dexterity? Sleight of hand rolls, please.
18?
11.
Unfortunately for you, Favius, Larissa is faster. The box is in her hand, nice and quick, and you also notice a click sound as Fisk comes forward with his crossbow and nods to Royce. I think we've seen enough. High Overseer, we're going to be taking the box and the shield, and you're not going to stop us. Do you understand?
That box is mine. You have no right to come and claim my property.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? It's It's the true details of the deal that I made so long ago in order to protect my city, my fair Eturiel.
Fisk raises an eyebrow, perhaps surprised at this admission, and Rhea's like, High Overseer, explain yourself. What? What do you mean the deal you made? What are you talking about?
You understand, child? I was making a high deal with Torm, the ultimate sacrifice of draining me of all my power and my connection in order to create the companion orb. You know, what has kept us safe for all these years. Never thought I that it would fail once I left for a small errand, as I did.
At this, Rhea frowns, and Fisk laughs a little. Oh, that would be a wonderful story, my lord. Except we all know this is an infernal object. Last I checked, the good god Torm does not deal in the infernal.
The object is deceiving you. It's playing tricks with your mind. Who are you to make such judgments?
Can Larissa start reading the infernal script on the box out loud to make a point that, no, this is infernal. I can read it.
The thing is, you can, but there are no actual words. If anything, it's more just random spellings of things. Again, you know infernal script, but there is no actual thing to say. It's all just runes randomly placed all over the place. It really is rather interesting, this box. So many turns and things. You almost feel for a moment an temptation to just touch it a bit. You've got it in your hands, but you could fiddle with it, couldn't you? That couldn't be harmful, right?
I imagine that kind of as she'll just read off if there's like a random letter to make the point that this isn't just an illusion. There is clearly an infernal background to it. But she will kind of every now and then, I imagine she pops a bit, not entirely on purpose, but just kind of as she's moving it, and she does get a bit curious with the box, but she tries to stop herself from playing with it too much.
And you do, because you know that would be a bad idea. Of course, you're not sure what came over you. You stop. Royce, awful lot going on here. Tobin is looking very concerned, and he's staying outside and kind of keeps looking down the corridors. What's going through your mind?
Royce doesn't trust this High Seer. Politicians in general tend to be self-serving to a certain degree, but nothing is adding up from what he's seeing, and how he knows Tobin was turned by the promise of power and glory and devils. He feels that this High Seer is saying whatever we want to hear. High Seer, why should we bring you out of here? You don't have a city to rule anymore. You've made a contract with some sort of infernal celestial who cares, to protect your city. But that city isn't protected anymore. You've failed. What are we bringing you back for? Why shouldn't we just, take the shield, leave you here locked up, and let the cult do what they care to with you?
Well, if that is indeed your inclination to just leave me here, then who am I to stop you? You would leave me, of course, in the hands of the Duke. Anyone could see that her plans for this place is no good.
Your plans don't sound much better. You're making deals with what look to be infernal deities or beings.
And what would you know? You are not a follower of Torm. You know nothing about self-sacrifice. You know nothing about my sacrifice. And I try again to take the box from the tiefling.
As he goes to grab the box on Larissa, I'm going to, both hands on his chest, pick him up against the wall. I know plenty about sacrifice. I know plenty about these deals. I have the power to turn them down. I wasn't weak like you.
I wasn't weak. I was doing my best to protect my city.
Well, your best clearly wasn't good enough, was it? Because it's gone, and you're sitting here with a box covered in infernal script, reeking of devils. So, how about we try this again? What's in the box? What did you do?
Yes, please. Rhea comes forward. High Overseer, please. Please just tell the truth. I don't understand why you're not telling the truth. If you do, I can convince my friends to help you, but if you don't, I don't understand. Just tell the truth, Overseer, please.
Hell, Rider, you know as well as I of the troubled past of our city, how it was formed so many hundreds of years ago, how the Hell Riders were first created. Perhaps you do not know that some 50 years ago now, the city was attacked by a powerful vampire, and I was the only one who could stand in its way. With his armies, his powerful undead armies, I did what I could. I made a bargain. I protected our city. We created the companion orb, and now the city was safe. And I looked down at Royce. Please put me down.
I put him down. Look, we need to get out of here. We're going to be cut. I say we get him out of here. We take the box. We take the shield. We let the watch, or the flaming fist maybe, deal with this problem.
Oh, Royce, my friend. We end him now. The companion. I had theories. My master had theories, but he's just admitted it. We knew. Torm, Tyr, they do not just deliver sons to whoever asks for it.
It was for a good cause. It was for defeating the vampire and his armies.
But it is not from the good gods, is it, my lord? It is from an infernal source. How does it work? Is that what's caused Eternal to disappear? Tell us now, quickly.
Why should I tell you if you are so intent on disposing of me, whoever you are?
No, we can't kill him. Oh, High Overseer, what have you done? We need to take him with us. You're right, Lofar. Let's take him with us, and we can, oh God, question him. Oh my gods, what does this mean?
And let's bring him to justice. And we shouldn't take justice into our own hands, not here.
There's no point bringing him with us if he won't tell us anything, though.
Alright, look. Guys, everybody, just calm down. We can't leave him here. We can't have him tell. They'll beat him. He's a weak man. He makes deals. He will sell us out straight away. Killing him serves no purpose. I mean, who's going to believe us? We were arrested by the Flaming Fist 4 days ago. We're now going to be the murderers of the High Seer. I mean, one rogue Hellrider, they'll spin it as, we can't. It's too easy for them to get out. We have to bring him as proof as much as to justice.
Yes, he is the only proof that we have.
True. High Overseer, who did you make this deal with? Whose contract sits in this box?
The deal, it was so long ago now. I do not remember the exact details. I called out for any aid, said I would make any sacrifice to save my fair city.
Who answered, High Overseer? Because as soon as we take you out of here, it's not just going to be this cult that hunts us.
I don't know who answered me. It was... I must thought it was Torm, of course.
Royce is going to slap him as he says that. If you don't start telling us the truth, I'm going to let this man use his crossbow. And I point to Fisk.
Very well. My prayers were answered, but not to who I thought they would fly off to. It was her. It was Zariel. Zariel, the archdevil. She used to be a glorious name of justice, of force. She rode into hell so bravely so many years ago. I thought maybe she had come back to save us.
Well, now that makes more sense. Zariel was connected with the Turiel. Perhaps his motives weren't as bad as he thought. Perhaps he thought this was some kind of redemption for her, for the city.
Yes, it was a redemption. She summoned the companion orb. The city was protected, and so it was for all these years, and as soon as I don't know why everything came to a fall as soon as I went on a small errand. I'm not foolish. I see how that might look like a strange coincidence, but maybe it was just tied to me when I was visiting Triel.
Fisk spits on the ground, says, "You know what, I don't know if that's a true or a lie. I don't care. Very well, though, if you all... I will not go against you all if you really think it's better to take him with us. It doesn't really matter. When we get the box back to my master, she will know the truth, High Overseer, because she will be able to open it."
Your master? Who is your master, I say, and I try to give a smile, despite being quite shook up.
Not really something you need to know, although I can tell you this. You have met her, and you made sure she was not welcome in your city anymore when we started asking questions.
The tiefling? No.
Fisk doesn't comment. He then nods to the others. "All right, if you think we take him with us, then we take him with us, but perhaps now it is time to leave."
Yes.
Yes.
As he says this, you hear Tobin outside saying, yes, they're, here. What do you want?" And a voice calling from outside. "Fabius, you are required in the, main hall. Mother wants to see you now. Come on, hurry up, out you come."
I look nervously at the other people. I will go out. I will keep the charade. Yes, and then you will help me out.
Perhaps we all keep the charade, and I put on a mask and look to the group. Not telling or questioning, is this the right decision?
I start moving. If no one stops me, I'm going to start moving outwards.
Fabius starts heading to the door. Fisk frowns and puts his mask back on. What does everyone else do?
I do the same.
As he goes to open the door, Larissa, the voice in your mind again. "Listen, I understand. You don't trust me. Why would you? I'm a shield. But attune me now. If they see you carrying me, they are going to know what you are up to. Think about it. You're intelligent. If Gargoaf could be released simply by attuning to the shield, don't you think that would have been done hundreds of years ago?"
And who are you? Who are you that's talking to me?
"I am the Hidden Lord. I contain him within the shield. It is part of the magic, but unfortunately I have to be here with him. Please, trust me. He is the reason for the problems. That's what they want him for, what that priest wants him for. The priest is lying to you, by the way. He knows fully well what's going on and what this shield, is capable of doing. They're trying to use Gargoaf. And Gargoaf is happy to be used if they free him, but they're not going to free him. You and I know that. Trust me, if we get this shield out of Baldur's Gate, his power lessens. It feeds on souls, multitudes of souls. When there are less souls around, the power has less emanation. So, trust me. Just attune to me. You can, if you don't attune to me, that's fine, but they will know immediately why you're carrying that shield out of this vault.
Larissa reluctantly will attune to the shield.
You feel a strange sensation, but you have attuned to items before. It's not that unusual. And perhaps there is a moment of anxious trepidation, and then nothing. Instead, you see you're now holding an old wooden shield. It is completely uninteresting. The aura has vanished, you feel, and yet at the same time, you understand those powers. If you needed them, you feel you could summon forth these skills of fire. That is it. Nothing else happens.
She looks at this now rather mundane shield and looks round to her companions and just mouths, "I'll take it off later." Specifically looking at Lothar with the indication that perhaps once we get out of here, he would be the best person to keep hold of it.
I nod.
And yes, Lothar, you probably do agree, although, there's a strange pang from somewhere far above, you feel. Gone, that item does need to be taken care of. But you, after all, are a Gonsman. But she'll give it to you later, right? Of course. You'll be fine.
I trust her.
And Favius opens the doors. As he does so, outside, you, Roy, spot Tobin, giving you a look behind the mask, looking a little anxious. Surrounding both sides, the left and the right, are several cultists, all wearing golden masks and black robes, and in front of them is Amric Van Fumper. He is not dressed in anything. He just looks exactly the same as he was the last time, except maybe he's changed his cloak. He looks a little confused as he looks in. What are all of you doing in here?
I try to slip by to join him on their side. They surprised me. I don't know who they are, but they are certainly not your cultists.
Wait, what?
They are invaders. Quick, get rid of them now!
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We were joined by Virginia Page, who is Tabletop Horde on Twitter, and Owen Fáilbhe from the How We Roll podcast. We would like to extend our thanks to our friends at Wizards of the Coast for all their support in getting us the material early, and for helping more people discover the show. The music was made by Halgrath, Aegis Sonus, Atrium Carceri and Herbst9, and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more moody, dark ambient. We also used the soundtrack for Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 by Michael Hoenig and to Planescape Torment by Mark Morgan, and permission for this was given by the awesome people at Beamdog. Check out the enhanced editions of those classic games for some of the best D&D adventures ever created. We would like to give a massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschelber and David, for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with Yalma and Craig. Most importantly, this support is indeed what keeps the show going, so please do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and see you soon again.